Hey, what's up guys, myself, and welcome to the New Year's Eve PC build. Pretty much the first video for the next year. I'm recording this a little bit earlier than I thought that would be. Anyways, so this is around of the 2023, the end of 2023, and I'm gonna send it at the exact time that it hits 2024 in my time. So for those who had their New Year's Eve, Happy New Year. For those who are still waiting for the New Year's Eve to hit exactly 2024, Happy New Year. And also for those who are asking if I made a Christmas video, I made two. Literally just made two. I know they're not exactly what they could consider as a Christmas video, but I made it as a Christmas video. So, you know. Anyways, long story short, this is the PC build using the RX 7900 XT. Not the XTX, because I couldn't find one, or at least not in the website I usually use for these type of videos. Anyways, let's just get started with the PC build, and hope you guys enjoyed this PC build. Now, starting off with the PC build, we're starting off with a CPU, and the CPU of choice is going to be the Ryzen 7 5700X. Sure, it's a much older CPU than usual, and I know some people were not really happy with this type of thing, since a lot of people wanted to see a PC build using more newer parts rather than older parts, which is fine. I would say though, newer parts have benefits, but this PC build is more towards gamers, and also because of the price point, it feels more correct. There is an option where you can go with the 12600K or something like that, which is a i5. It's a quote-unquote, I believe, 10 cores, 6 for efficiency. So it is slightly better than this one. With that said, because of the motherboard and everything else, and overall price to performance, it doesn't feel like that much of a difference. You have an option to go with a 12600K or whatever, the one that I saw, but it would also feel a little bit wrong, especially towards the motherboard. The motherboard, if you're going towards something that's similar to the AMD motherboards, you would actually end up spending a little bit more on the motherboard, making it equally the same price point as this guy. With that said, that is something that some will probably prefer more than the others. I would say it really doesn't make that much of a difference, and also because of power performance, efficiency and all that, it really feels like it's better just to go with the AMD Ryzen, especially this one. And also, it's slightly more better in terms of overall. I know there's some benefits with Intel, but and overall I think the CPU is pretty good, so I don't see why not. Now for the cooler, went with the Thermalright Aqua Elite V3, so it's a newer version, I guess. It's a 240mm RGB liquid cooler, AIO liquid cooler. It's a company that I don't know if it's Italian or not, but it does have a couple Italian names on it. I have no clue, but it's a cheaper AIO company, so it's not like the most best liquid coolers comparing to the actual big companies, but it does a job to cool your CPU anyways, and it looks cool, RGB everywhere. So yeah, we're going with it. Now for the motherboard, we went with the MSI Pro B550 VC. It's a MSI motherboard that's not only supporting the CPU, and while it looks simple but still decent, that's the thing, it's still decent, it's pretty good. I mean, the ports are pretty nice. You get a Type A, Type C Gen 2, and 2 USBs Type A ports Gen 1, so 2 5 gigabits and 2 10 gigabits Type C, Type A, that matter, and a bunch of USB 2.0 so you can connect to your peripherals and all that stuff. But also, it's just, the motherboard looks nice. It's black. The heatsink for the VRMs are pretty good. You get pretty much most of the things you need. It's pretty much a motherboard that's simple but usable to what you want to use it for. It's also the type of motherboard I would really wish companies out there would do it that way, so they can put in their what's called pre-built PCs. I've usually seen pre-built PCs that use motherboards that are actually slightly worse than this one. So it's a motherboard that's literally in the middle. I prefer it something like this anyways. If it was for me, I would pretty much pick something like that. It's simple, it's nice, it's good, it functions well. What else can we ask? For the RAM, we went with the Alloy 16 gigs, 3600 megahertz. It's dual stick, so 8 gigs each. It's 3600 megahertz, so it's around of a good speed for the processor and the build overall. And it's black, because why not? And overall, it's very good for this PC build, so we're going with it. Now, for the storage, we went with the Team Group Cardia Zero Z440 graphene. So, long story short, is the cheapest Gen 4 SSD I could find. It's not the prettiest looking one, but it functions well and it stores the system. You know, it's a storage for the system that works really well. Also, I didn't try to search if it's a pretty good, at least decent enough SSD. Well, it's not the fastest Gen 4 SSD, and I can prove that it's actually not that fast. There's some that are more faster than this. It's a good mid-range beginner Gen 4 SSD that anyone could pretty much start with. The better ones are more expensive, and unless you want to spend a couple of dollars more, sure, but you know. And overall, it does a job. It does a job, and I would probably recommend this one. Plus, if you're looking about, or you complaining about the colors, you could just put the SSD heatsink that comes with the motherboard, and that covers that up. Now, for the GPU, we went with the ASRock Phantom Gaming OC RX 7900 XT. It's one of the two best AMD graphics card that was released. Primarily, first, that is 20 gigs of VRAM, so that's a lot of gigs. I'm looking at you, NVIDIA. So because of the VRAM amount, you get a lot of VRAM. That means probably not going to have any issue with games. Especially the ones that use a lot of VRAM. And the performance itself is pretty good. Especially if planning to play games 1440p, you should be very, very well with it. 1080p, it's way more than a beast. But 1440p, it's mostly recommended for it. 4K, not so much. I mean, you could. It does have the performance to play 4K, but not to that extent. Also, does have some good things about them. So one is that it does support for DisplayPort 2.0. Still looking at you, NVIDIA. And some other features. Sure, it's not the best one in the world, and still NVIDIA does have a much better encoding and some other features that, especially if you're doing something more than gaming, you probably prefer NVIDIA. Personally, I feel like it's still a good graphics card overall, especially for gaming. If you're playing for games at a very good quality, AMD has done something that's very decent, and I can't really disagree with that. So definitely putting that in the system. Now, for the power supply, we went with the Cooler Master MWE Gold 850 watts. So it's a version 2. It's 150 watts, so it's pretty good, especially for this PC build. I'd probably prefer to use around that amount. It's gold certified, so it's better than a copper one. I believe it's copper, something like that. It's also fully modular, which is nice. Overall, it powers the PC build. It's good. It's 150 watts, so it's exactly how much it needs. It's pretty good for this PC build. Now, for the case, I went with the Antic NX410. So it's a mid-tower case. I believe it's mesh since the front looks very mesh, so it's pretty much mesh. It does have 3 fans in them. It's a decent case, not the best case in the world, but it's pretty decent for this PC build. The price point as well, you know, and plus 3 RGB fans. A good start, not gonna lie. Now the total price point of this PC build is gonna be around 1,397, 98, something like that. So a little bit under 1,400 bucks, which is exactly the price point I want to go with. These days, a lot of people prefer to build something that's around 1,100, 200. But if you're planning to spend a little bit more than 100, 200 bucks more than that amount, then this is the PC build for that. Of course, if you don't want an RX 7900 XT, you could just go with a 7800. If you want to save money, it's still pretty good. I will be linking, or probably in the end of the video, you're going to see the video that has the 7800. That one is also the most viewed video as well. So, more towards most people. This one is more towards people who want to play at 1440p. So, if you plan to play in a more high resolution, then this is the best option for you guys. But, yeah, overall, 1,400 bucks. Good price. So, that is it for today's PC build. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm doing this a late night. I only have 12 minutes before I have to go outside anyways. So sorry if there's some things I kind of forgot to mention. I do want to mention a couple things. First things first is the power supply. I know some people might say that a gold certified power supply feels a little bit nonsensical to get, and it's better to get something more powerful, and I agree to that. But platinum or higher than that, titanium power supplies are a bit too expensive, and while it's worth it because it lasts longer, it's also too expensive. So I don't think that actually makes sense, especially if you're trying to build something that's less than 1,500. So there's that one thing. The other thing is I do know that because I'm using a older CPU, also it's being using some older products, like for example older motherboards and older RAM technology like the DDR4. But to be honest, DDR4 is still pretty good. Not the best, but still pretty good to use. I honestly don't see what's the issue with it, especially since it's a fast DDR4 RAM, and that also even newer processors still has the functionality to even use older parts anyways. So that's for DDR for 12 series and 13 series of Intel. I don't know if AMD, I think they're only using DDR5 now, which is okay, that makes sense. But overall though, it's not something that's necessary at the moment. It's more like if you want the 100% or near to that, because there isn't really 100%, but near to 100% performance. So yeah, sure, that makes sense. I guess if you want to get that, sure. But I don't see why you shouldn't just go with the DDR4. I honestly prefer just to go with the DDR4 to save up a little bit of money and still have a good performance. I don't see what's the issue here. But overall, for the most part, this PC build is good, and I think it's pretty good for most people who wants to build something under 1,500, I believe. Well, this one is 1,400, so you know, good price point for performance. And the most important part of the PC build is the GPU anyways. As long as the rest is good, the GPU is the most important part if you're planning to play games mostly. And overall, I think this is a good PC build for that. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys had fun. Comment down below, share this video, give a like. Hope you guys had a great happy new year, and I hope you guys had a great Christmas, even though, you know, it's 2023 and stuff happened. But for me, it was fine, you know. Could have been worse. So overall, hope you guys had a good year, and I will see you guys next year, which is 2024. I guess now, if I post this video in 2024, the start of 2024, so it's... I see you guys in 2024. Alright, peace.